Hey guys, welcome to the J-Tendo show. I'm your lovely host, Jabari Lewis Smith. Okay, no class for me. Anyways, today we'll be looking into the Nintendo Switch indie game called Fee. Oh, come on. I'm your host, Jabari. Fee! Jabari! Fee! Jabari!
You stink!
Oh, come on. Whatever.
Welcome to the J-Tendo show, and I can see that we're all on a roll. There will be good games and some bad, but I can say since you're here that I'm really glad. The Nintendo we all know and love, they produce games from heaven above, like Kirby, Zelda, and Mario. But if the game sucks so much ass, let's be sure to put them all on blast. Wait to see what we have for you right here at the J-Tendo show.
He's quick, he's furry, he's small, he's Fee! Well, we don't really know whether or not that this fox-like creature's name is Fee or it's a boy or a girl, but we are just gonna go with Fee since I'm a male player and it will make it easier for me to talk about the main character in this fashion. And not that I'm trying to offend anybody or anything like that, you know, it's just trying to make it easier on me for now. Gender equality and all that stuff, or whatever you identify yourself as, which is a whole other discussion, but it's all fine by me. Anyway, let's look into the story of Fee. The game begins with the main protagonist waking up in a mysterious forest. There isn't much of an introduction on exactly what is going on or how you got there, but you're quickly given control of the character and allowed to roam around the forest freely and experience the beauty of your surroundings, accompanied by a fitting and calming soundtrack. Upon arriving at the center of the forest, you quickly learn that the ecosystem has been disturbed due to the arrival of strange mechanical creatures known as the Silent Ones, who captures the forest animals and takes them away to the unknown. No one knows what the Silent Ones want or are looking for, but it's up to Fee to figure it out, save his friends, and restore peace back in the forest. Fee was released on multiple systems on February 16th by a game company in Sweden called Zoink Games. They have released several games on various platforms and systems such as, the phones, the iOS and the Android, and PlayStation, Xbox, and now the Nintendo Switch. And they even created a mascot for LG, which was displayed on the electronic billboard. Some of their games are 2D, but most are created in 3D and are exceptionally creative and interesting. For the making of Fee, articles show that the developers were inspired by their times as children playing in the forest, and their memories and experiences are implemented into Fee. Fee is probably their most beautiful creation yet. In order to advance in the game, you must find out exactly what's happening in the forest. You must communicate with different animals and plants in their languages that they understand. To successfully communicate, you have to use the remote to balance the pitch of the animals or the plants. The first time I didn't understand 100% what I was doing wrong when doing this, so I ended up wasting a good 20 minutes at the beginning of the game.
Six and a half hours later.
Eventually I got it to work. Yeah. Not all animals can communicate with you with your original language. You must learn languages through helping out the young animals in their goals. Once you learn the languages, you will be able to communicate with adult animals and use special plants and pass barriers in the game, and also reach new areas to collect crystals that are scattered all over the forest. It's not 100% clear why these crystals are scattered everywhere, but you will quickly find out that they will help you on your adventure by giving you new skill sets, such as gliding, running on all fours to move faster, and more. The game also allows for players to freely explore the forest without any real guide. It kinda gives you a Legend of Zelda feel. You know, you got things to do, but it may be more interesting to explore that cave over there, or that snowy area here, or even that rock. If you really are lost and need a guide, you are able to call a young bird who will guide you to the next objective. You can also check out your map and see icons leading to the next objective as well. In order to figure out the storyline, you have to find small shrines that are placed in the forest. Once you find them, you can obtain a crystal ball by extracting them with your voice. Balls. You look into them, giving you a glimpse of occurrences from the past. Little by little, you learn of what's going on and how things become chaotic. Sometimes finding the storytelling crystal balls in an area may be harder than finding a Szechuan sauce packet from McDonald's, which I can't say for the life of me. Most of the ones I found were ones that I happened to stumble upon as I went forward in the game. By the way, if you're still looking for the Szechuan sauces, I got two right here, 50 bucks a pop! Okay, and a lot of people are saying that these things are disgusting, but no, really, they're not too bad if you're familiar with like Asian tastes, or like soy sauce and ginger and all that good stuff. Anyways, moving on. Now for the good, bad, and ugly. To be honest, this game is not that difficult, but at times it really scares the shit out of me. You know, some shit is going down when the music turns eerie and the screen suddenly goes red and foggy. I mean, I know that's really not really scary to many people, but the color red for me represents bloodstains, death, and McDonald's. And the director really knows how to set the mood with the blurry vision and the condescending music. Hey buddy, what are you up to? Wait up! Holy shit! My boy! Holy shit, my boy! Where are you taking him? This game is not difficult. I mean, it's not difficult at all. And that's probably one of the big issues of this game. There is no fighting, and all you have to really do is throw things and maneuver from place to place without being caught by the enemies. So I have to ask myself most of the time, where is the challenge in this game? I guess collecting the crystals can be a bit difficult at times, but really you don't need to collect too many in order to beat the game. Hiding from the enemies is pretty easy. You can either distract the enemies or just have to wait until they walk away. So again, I ask, where is the challenge? And the answer is, there really isn't one. The game really depends on storytelling and exploration, which is great, but without a challenge, the game becomes slightly dull. Fee reminds me of a modern-day Spyro Crash Bandicoot Zelda hybrid, which I really love. You go around looking for crystals and helping out other animals in the forest, but the game is really limited on what you can do. Don't get me wrong, the look and feel of the game is beautiful and the soundtrack is fantastic, but I was expecting more in the game, and there is so much more potential for different things to be added to make the game more adventurous and wonderful. You only have the choices of exploring new areas, which there isn't a lot of, finding crystals and drawings, or completing the original story. In this day for a game like this, I believe people are expecting a bigger world, one filled with more side quests, more areas to explore, and more things such as rewards for completing tasks. I can't try to compare this game to something like The Legend of Zelda because this is an indie game, which definitely doesn't have the team size and cash flow or tools as Nintendo, but Zoink Games did do a fantastic job in engaging the player with the storyline and trying to figure out what exactly was going on in the forest. Actually, with the memories and past sequences, the game does kind of share a couple elements as Breath of the Wild, but I read that Fee was announced in 2016 as a game in production by the company a year before the release of Breath of the Wild, so I know they didn't rip that aspect from Breath of the Wild. But they were influenced by other games, which was clearly added into Fee. For example, this giant deer and climbing it may remind you a whole lot of Shadows of the Colossus. I never played that game, but I've seen plenty of gameplay to recognize it. But really adding elements from different games into your work is not a bad thing at all, as long as it's not overdone. I look at it more of a thank you for the inspiration message to the developers and the creators of these games. People will recognize it and hopefully appreciate it as well. Final thoughts on the game. Fee is beautiful. The colors and the work on the environment are mesmerizing and are complemented with a beautiful soundtrack. Something about being a fox and helping the animals and restoring peace to a mysterious forest just doesn't get any better than it sounds. Unfortunately, the game falls flat when it comes to feeling like a completed game. I mean, the game is completed, but it still feels like it's writing on the bones. It needs some more meat and flesh to become something outstanding. It has the potential, and some may say that this game is perfect as it is, but I hope they add in some downloadable content to fill in the game. To be honest, once I completed the main story, which took less than 6 hours, I wasn't interested enough to go back and collect the remaining crystals or explore different areas that I may not have touched. That being said, this game was sold for only $20, so I'm not really complaining or anything. I feel like people will enjoy this game, but they may feel the same as me at the end. Looking at it in a creative aspect, they have created something truly special, and I love jumping around with my buddies. I hope in the future that they make a sequel which gives this game what it really deserves. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.